All right, today we're going to one of the most crowded and, yep, most expensive cities in the world. Why? Well, we're there to check out a really radical new vision for the home. A vision that asks a pretty big question. Is it actually possible to live sustainably and luxuriously without having to compromise on either?
And yeah, that's the central question, isn't it? Sustainable luxury just sounds like a contradiction. I mean, think about it. Sustainable makes us think of using less, right? And luxurious, well, that usually means having a whole lot more.
You know the drill. When we think luxury, we picture, like, over-the-top excess. Gold faucets, huge rooms, you name it. But then you hear sustainability, and you think sacrifice, austerity, just dialing everything way, way back. They seem like total opposites.
But what if that whole idea is just wrong? Because in Singapore, one of the most intense cities you can imagine, a bunch of architects and their clients are proving that it is. They are building homes that are somehow both stunningly beautiful and truly sustainable. So let's dive in and see how they're pulling it off. Okay, so let's set the scene. Welcome to the Singaporean proving ground. And really, it's like a pressure cooker. The city isn't just a random place where these ideas are popping up. No, it's the very reason they exist. The incredible challenges here are forcing a total rethink of what a home is even supposed to be. So let's start with a number. 13,700. That's how many people are packed into every single square kilometer. I mean, that's not just dense, that's an unbelievable lack of space. And it means that every single design choice, every little detail is shaped by this one fact. There is absolutely no room to waste. And on top of that, you've got the cost. Singapore is always, always on the list of the most expensive cities on the planet. The financial pressure is just huge. It makes every single square meter of land unbelievably precious. So, if you're an architect there, this is what you're up against. You've got this sweltering tropical heat that you have to work with, not just fight with air conditioning. You've got the insane population density we just talked about, and a real housing affordability crisis. Plus, you have this growing need for multiple generations to all live together under one roof. Oh, and while you're at it, you have to preserve the city's unique cultural heritage. It's a massive, complex puzzle, and it absolutely demands a new way of thinking. So, when you're faced with what seem like impossible constraints, what do? Well, the answer isn't just to build differently, it's to think differently. You have to completely redefine what those words, sustainability and luxury, even mean. So let's start with sustainability. We tend to think of it as, solar panels and recycling bins. But here, in this new model, it's a much bigger, more holistic idea. It's about balancing social, economic, and environmental resources. It's about a home that can actually sustain a family, a community, and even a culture for the long haul. And this quote from architect Robin Tong Chai Chong just hits the nail on the head. He says, they don't buy into the trendy stuff. They look at it holistically. And then he says this, saving money is a kind of sustainability. Think about that. When you're resourceful, when you find a way to do more with less money, that is sustainability. It's about being smart, not just being green. Okay, so that naturally brings us to luxury. The old way of thinking, that was all about opulence, showing off your status, building your own private, isolated castle. But the new idea, it flips that completely on its head. It says luxury is about meaning and well-being. A home is truly luxurious not because of its price tag, but because of how it supports your way of life and how it helps you connect with others. And this quote from a client, man, it just perfectly captures the emotional core of this whole shift. I didn't want a house, I wanted a home. It's that simple and that profound. It's about moving away from seeing a building as just a product and seeing it as a place where you belong, a place with real meaning. Okay, so that's the big idea, the theory. But how does that actually turn into walls and windows and a place someone can actually live? Let's take a look at how the architecture itself becomes the solution. First up, principle number 1, bring nature inside. Instead of building walls to keep nature out, you invite it in. I mean, check this out. The award-winning Namly Drive house has a water garden literally in the middle of the living room. And it's not just there to look pretty, it's the house's engine. It draws air across the cool water and funnels it through the entire home. It's natural air conditioning. All right, principle 2, design for generations. This is a huge one in Singapore. So the Holland Grove house it's a brilliant solution. It's basically 2 separate homes that are cleverly connected. It solves that classic, crucial puzzle. How do you live together as a big family, sharing the load, but still give everyone their own space and a sense of privacy? This is how. Okay, this one is pretty wild. Principle 3, live with the climate. Instead of just sealing a house up and blasting the AC 24/7, the Jalan Mott Jambal house does the exact opposite. It's a windowless home. It's designed to be almost completely open, positioned perfectly to catch the cooling sea breezes. It doesn't fight the heat, it works with it. So what do you do when you can't build out? You build up. That's principle 4, create vertical landscapes. The Oliva apartments are the perfect example. We're not talking about little balconies here. These are massive, 7-meter-high sky terraces. They're literally shared gardens in the sky. It's an amazing way to get the feeling and the natural cooling of a backyard, but you're living dozens of stories off the ground. Okay, so these are some amazing examples. But what does it all mean for the rest of us who maybe don't live in Singapore? Why does any of this matter? Let's zoom out for a second and look at the lessons for a more livable future. Now, you might be thinking, sure, these are beautiful dream homes for the super rich. And yeah, they are. But think of them like concept cars. They're experiments. They're the research and development labs for the entire housing world. The lessons learned here about passive cooling, living with family, using space smartly, those lessons eventually trickle down and inform how all housing gets designed for everyone. So, if we boil it all down, what are the big takeaways from this whole Singaporean experiment? Well, there are 3 main things. Number 1, we need to redefine luxury. Stop thinking about it as excess and start thinking about it as well-being. 2, we have to design holistically. That means thinking about the social and the economic impacts, not just the environmental ones. And finally, and this might be the most important one, we have to embrace our constraints. Don't fight them, use them as fuel for creativity and real innovation. And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. We've always seen a house as shelter, right? Just a roof over our heads. But what if its real purpose is so much deeper than that? What if the purpose of a house isn't just to shelter us, but to actually sustain us, physically, emotionally, culturally, the whole shebang? It makes you think, doesn't it?